It was January 5th. It's a Friday because we always did our happy hours on Friday night. I was feeling fine. Felt a little funny in the evening earlier before we left, but not enough to sort of stay home. And it was just sort of, I had like a little muscle pain kind of on my side, but it went away, so it didn't really bother me. Pretty packed restaurant. I guess about an hour or so into the evening, I started feeling more nauseous, or queasy, I guess. I went into the bathroom to kind of wash my face, and then I went outside to get some fresh air, and thinking that, maybe it was just something I ate or something. And by the time I got back to the table, I went to the person I was with, and I said, I think I gotta go home. I'm really feeling pretty sick.
He came up behind me and he said, I think you need to take me home. And I turned around and looked at him and I said, no, you need to go to the hospital. All I saw were brown eyes. There was no color in his face. I touched him. He was as cold as a fish and very sweaty. So right away I told someone at the table to call 911.
I was really in a haze. I could see and I could hear. One of the first things I saw was the lights of the ambulance come driving through the parking lot.
Code 3 lights and sirens to the restaurant. I decided that we needed to put him on the EKG monitor and do a 12-lead EKG, which I then diagnosed as a STEMI, which means ST elevation, which indicates a heart attack. So it's really important to be able to have a secure way to transmit name, date of birth, what's happening in a little bit more detail, along with pictures. That information can then be transmitted directly to the hospital in a secure server that they can look at and they can see in real time what's happening.
I did get the page on my cell phone with a unique alert that Pulsara has that sounds kind of like an ambulance. And when I pulled it out, looked at the app, I could see a copy of his EKG, which was very dramatic. It told me immediately that this was a major emergency. We positioned him on the cath lab table. I explained to him what we were about to do, gave him a little sedation so he was relaxed. As we expected, the blockage was in the vessel down the front of his heart, and I was able to rapidly pass a wire through that clot, dilate with a balloon, and place several stents to open up the artery, relieving his symptoms right away.
My best friend and I sat in the waiting room of the cath lab, and probably close to an hour later, the doctor came out. He said Mark would not have had a very good chance of being alive had he not gotten in here right away.
The way Pulsara impacted this case was that it provided me immediate, very reliable information, and I knew from the way the app was working that the whole crew, every member of the crew was getting the same information, and we were all responding. And so I had no worries about whether I would have adequate support when I arrived at the hospital. I had no concern that the diagnosis was perhaps in question. I just knew it was a matter of moving fast and efficiently and doing the best we could for Mark.
All things lined up perfectly for me. I feel great. I'm resuming my life as it was. And now I'm actually paying better attention now to my health than I was before.
We're enjoying life again, and we owe it to the great intervention and everything that happened here at the hospital.